Oh, hello everyone. This is Tina from Tina's Workshop, and I'm just spinning up a little bit of that goblin colorway that I got from Into the World last month. Just set that aside. So, how is everybody this week? Let's see, get my camera in the right place. There we go. So, let's see, today is Friday, November 8th already. My son, my oldest, is going to be 23 on Sunday. I can't believe he's 23 already. It seems like yesterday he was a baby. Anyway, let's see. It is currently 61 degrees. We have been going into the 40s at night and then the 70s during the day. And find my show notes. Here we go. Oh yeah, you can find me on all the regular things. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Ravelry, all that is down below, including email, snail mail, and anything I talk about today will be also in the description down below. And if I forget it, just ask me and I will let you know. So hopefully I don't forget anything. So let's see. I guess we'll jump right into it and go to finished objects because they are sitting right there. And they're so stinking cute. I got me a basket full of chickens. Well, there's only 2 in there, but they do kind of fill it. So I had a request for 2 Christmas-themed emotional sport chickens, and I think they're so stinking cute. Still trying to figure out how to maneuver around the microphone and make sure the camera can see me. Okay, let's see. Let's put you that way. There we go. Okay, so chicken number 1 and chicken number 2. I think I need to make myself one. I'm like, okay, 3 French hens. Wait, there's only 2. I need a third. I need one for me. I think they came out so cute though. And I left the beak white, but it like needed that little bit of a division. So I actually took some of the green yarn, carded it, and then needle felted it just to create a little bit of a shadow. Come on, focus. I'm trying to make sure it focuses on the chicken and not me. There we go. So I used loops and threads. I did loops and threads in white for the body, and then I had that marled loops and threads that I used for the colors in the green and the red. And then this is what I did. So I took some of that green yarn and I carded it and made the fluff with it so that I could, because the fleeces that I had, the different greens, they weren't the right green. So I decided to just card some of that and use it. So I think they came out super, super cute. I'm thrilled with them, and they both have a lavender belly. So they smell like lavender, and I'm not going to stick my face up against it like I normally do because I don't want to get lipstick and stuff onto the white yarn. But I think they came out really, really cute. Stick them back here so they can share the day with us. And then my other one's over here. Doop, 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 that way. Okay, that was the only finished object I had for the week. I spent a lot of time working on them, but I also was busy this week, so I just didn't get anything else finished. I have been working on, well, a little bit. I did like 2 rows on my son's scarf last night. So yeah, I picked this up last night, literally did like 2 rows. That's it. My son and I were watching TV, so I guess I kind of needed to work on it at least a little bit. But I have been working on the scrappy blanket, and I'm close to being done with it. And when I'm finished with that, I will work a little bit more on this. But you know, when you start to get to the point where you're getting close to finishing something and you want to just work on it, so that's what I've been doing. So, scrappy blanket is getting very long. Okay, so last week on this end, I was right there. And so I've gone all the way to here. And that's the end of what is going to be on that end. I figured out that when I stopped going in the round, so on this side from here, I want 30 rows, and then I need 30 rows on the other end. So on this end, I was right here last week, and I've just started working on this end again. And I have, from this point, I had 13 more rows I needed to do on this end from this point. So I've got, I think, about 11 more rows. I am right here at the moment. So I've got about 11 more rows on this end, and then I'm going to do a border row as per my son's request. So we'll see how much further he actually picked out this color. When I got to that one, I said, pull me out a color. So he added that one in. And then when I got to where I am now, because I'm past all my little balls, I said, pick me out another color. So he had picked out this one. So I've so far done that many rows on this end and have done 2 rows, little over 2 rows on this end. So we'll see how much further I get on this. I think I might have to pick another color before I finish the border, but we'll see. So that's where I'm at with that. And he was actually using it yesterday before I started the rows on this end. And he was liking how long it was getting. But he said he still feels it needs those extra few rows that it's going to get so it can actually go over his feet. He got very cozy and fell asleep under it. Okay. Oh, I forgot to grab that one. Hold on. Since this one resides in my purse, I forget sometimes to bring it over. My Delique bag. I love this bag. I have all these really amazing Loungefly bags, and I love my Loungefly bags, but this is just so incredibly functional. Look at this. This is so cute. It fits in my purse, same color. It only holds 5 ounces of water, but it's just enough if you have to take a pill or you get a, cough in your throat or whatever. It just fits right down there next to my project. It's just like perfect fit. Okay. It's big enough that my cake now fits inside of it. So last week, there's where I was at right there. And so I've gotten that much done. I've got a decent, there we go. I've gotten a decent amount done on it since last week. I'm so happy that I pulled it out and started again. It looks so much better. So, and this is the Weird Sisters yarn that I always forget the name of. And I keep forgetting to grab the bag out of the other room where the label's at. Anyway, I'm really liking how it's looking now, and I work on it every chance I get. If I'm riding in the car, if I'm sitting in a restaurant, I'll even work on it at my Bible study while our video is playing because I don't need to pay attention to it. So, okay, moved my progress keeper up. We'll see how long it takes me to finish it though, because I'm not like sitting and working on it at home. If I'm home, I'm working on one of the other projects. And that's the extent of what I've worked on this week. So most of the time was spent on the emotional support chicken. So I have not worked on the batad. I've not worked on the convertible 4-way wrap or cozy memories or Wonderland yarns, which is the thing I really need to work on next. Now that I'm done with those 2 chickens, I really need to get caught up on some of the Wonderland yarns. And speaking of which transitioning into acquisitions, Wonderland yarns did come in the mail this week, and the color is amazing. And I'm not going to say too much about it because so next Wednesday should be the video on that. So far the crochet pattern is out, so I need to start working on that. But the knit pattern as of last night had not popped up. Let's see if it's popped up yet. Right there. Oh, come on, scroll down. Yeah, no, right now it's still just the crochet square. So I will get working on that probably later today. And then we'll work on other squares until that knit one pops up. And hopefully that knit one will come up soon. And that will be Wednesday's video. If not, then I do have, it'll probably be the next one in my fleece series. I just have to finish editing it, but that would be the next one I would do. Then I also got, so what I was working on at the beginning of the video is the Into the World Goblin colorway from last month. And occasionally trying to get, I love to sit and spin, but when I get going on other things, I don't always take the time to do that. But my next Into the World came in. Same day as Wonderland Yarns. Ha! Twofer. And this one is a gray Corriedale, and it's called Crown of Jack McLantern. So this was the October colorway. And so gray Corriedale. So it's a gray fleece that's been over dyed, and it is so pretty. I want to spin this one so bad. Look at that. Look at those colors. So you can see this is the natural color here of the fleece, the gray there. And then all the other color has been over dyed on it. And it is so squishy. So I can't wait to spin this one up. People always say, well, what are you going to do with it when you spin it? And you should have a project figured out before you spin. I just like to spin it. I just want to make the yarn. That's project enough for me. I just want to have that finished yarn. It's just, for me, it's so much fun to do the spinning of the yarn. I like it. Okay, so last week I said I was trying to be good and not, now I got it shaking, and not buy a bunch of yarn because I didn't need it. My husband's an enabler. It's his fault. It's all his fault. So on Sundays, a lot of times, it's always been our family day. And now that the boys are older, they don't always want to go places with us. I mean, they're in their 20s. But we still try to do something together, whether it's just my husband and myself or my husband, myself, and my sister-in-law. And on Sunday, it was just him and I, and we'd gone out for breakfast, and then we were trying to figure out what to do for the rest of the day. And he says, are there any yarn stores in San Francisco? I was like, yeah, of course there are. Well, there's like 3 main yarn stores, one of which was closed on Sundays and Mondays. So we didn't go to that one. But we went to the other 2. And I bought yarn. And my husband's looking at me at the first store because he went in the first store, but not the second store. And he's like, you just spent how much on 2 skeins of yarn? I'm like, don't you worry. Don't worry. Just go away. Okay, so the first store we went to was called Firebird Yarns, and I will link all of them below. They have the really cute drawing. They have a person who actually does all the artwork for their stuff. And I'm going to have little videos I'm going to put up of each one of these. And there's like old pinups of girls that were knitting and stuff. Well, their artist that does this also does these other pinups, and they're men. So they're men pinups that are knitting and things like that. And this store is right on Haight Street in San Francisco. But I did buy, because if you remember at Lambtown, I bought from Happy Mermaid Yarn Company, I bought the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, and I had put it on my bag right here. I lost it. I haven't been able to find it. We were out and about the one day, and yeah, it disappeared. So I need a new one to put right there. And I thought their little pin was really pretty. So come on, focus. So it says Firebird Yarns. And it has 2 backs. So I'm hoping with 2 on there, I won't lose it. And I won't put it right there. And I think it'll look pretty on there. And and both of the stores made sure that I had the information to save the date for the Bay Area Yarn Crawl, which will be in March. And all these shops, there's a whole bunch of shops. All those shops in the Bay Area are in the Yarn Crawl. Okay. They also gave me a sticker. Oh, come on, focus. Firebird sticker. And then I bought a couple stickers, because this one is totally me. I'm probably at the yarn store. And I'd rather be spinning. Wasn't I just saying that? So totally me. And then they had their own yarn line that they dye. So Firebird Yarns, San Francisco. And this one is called You Precious Thing. I've been buying a lot of green yarns lately, and I decided to get a red yarn, because red and green go great together for Christmas, and I love Christmas. Can you see? I have a little bit of Christmas blingy stuff back here. I have not decorated for Christmas. I have promised my children since they were little I would never decorate for Christmas until after Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is its own holiday. But the day after Thanksgiving is fair game, and Christmas can start going up. But this is my little space, so there's like this little bit here I just put up, and I've always have a little bit of Christmas up in my bedroom. They can't say nothing about that. It's in my room. But the main reason I actually got this it's so that and it's not totally Christmas, it's kind of wintry, but when I take pictures with things like the chickens and stuff, I can add a little bit of Christmas around it if I want to. Okay, back to the yarn. That's why we're here, right? So anyway, and I didn't even think about that till just now when I was showing this to you, but Firebird yarn with their little bit of red and stuff, that yarn actually is like perfect. But it has the little bling, it has the stellina. It is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina. But I thought it would be really pretty. I could grab one of my green yarns and pair it and do something with it if I want to. It would be so pretty. Oh, that would be really pretty to do like the batade like that. I might have to make a second one. We'll see. And then this one, I don't know if you guys noticed that when I talk about my boys, I tend to say the name of my oldest more often. His name is John. But I never mention my younger son's name or say too much about him. And that's per his request. He would eventually like to one day have a YouTube channel, and it would be very different from mine. And even though he's the one who had me start this channel, he is the one who actually helps me run this channel. He is like totally in the background of it, but he doesn't want to have the association with my channel in the future because it is such a different genre from his. He came out of his room as I was talking about him. Anyway, so the reason I started saying that was this skein of yarn. As I walked past it and I caught a glimpse of it, I did a double take and had to look at it again because I thought I saw my son's name on it. He has a unique name, and it wasn't. But, and those of you who know me, you'll know why I did that double take. So I had to buy it because the name made me think of him. And I actually bought a colorway that would not surprise me if at some point he'll say, "Hey, Mom, make me something with it," because it's like his colors. So anyway, it is called Murky Depths. And the colorway, I think, says Grackle. I think that's what that says, is Grackle. So I don't really know what that one is supposed to be. But it says deep sock, 80% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon. And it's just got these really pretty like blues and green, and that kind of goes into teals with little bits of brown. And if you remember the jacket that he made, it had those browns and blues. So anyway, I couldn't help myself, had to buy that one. Both of these stores down there had lots of yarns that I had never heard of before. And I was trying to see if this one says where it's from. It doesn't. So I don't know where this one's from. It's pretty though. It's got all kinds of like images on the label. Very pretty. So anyway, got that one. And then went next door, and there was a coffee shop that is called, I just forgot what it was called. But my husband grabbed a coffee sleeve for me, and I had a coffee sleeve on my cup. I got some tea that was really good. It had, was it cherimoya flavor or something like that in it? I don't know. It was really good. Anyway, it wasn't until later on, looking at this and looking online, that I realized each one of their coffee sleeves has an image of their different shops. And my husband thought he had grabbed the one we were at, but it wasn't. And I found the one online that was. But anyway, this was the one he grabbed. And this is the one that came on my cup. And now I'm like, I totally want to go back there and just sift through their coffee sleeves. But anyway, 2 more coffee sleeves for my collection that are really cool. This is like why I really like coffee sleeves, is when you find ones like this that are just unique and cool. And yeah. Okay. So then we went over to another yarn store, and this one was called, hold on, it's not on their bag, and I'm trying to remember what it was called. Let's see. Yarn stores. Okay. It was Imagine It. That's what it was called. Imagine It. And it was on 18th Street, so they're not too far apart. If you know San Francisco, you'll know what I'm talking about. Lots of hills, though. My gosh, imagine it's on a corner, and it's one of those hills that goes dang near straight up, so you actually have to park. Instead of parking along the curb this way, or even at an angle, you have to park this way. Those hills are crazy in San Francisco. again, another yarn crawl, save the date. And they both specifically were like, here, don't forget this. Okay, so I have a pattern. I think I showed you guys a while back for the coziest socks ever that I've been wanting to make. And I don't know. I didn't have the pattern with me. And when I picked this up, I'm like, oh, this will work. But I'm not positive because it's actually a DK boucle yarn. And this has that kind of look, but I bought it. But it says it's a super bulky. So we'll see what happens. Or if I even use it for that. And yes, they did have green, and I did not buy green. This is by Earth Yarns, which I do really like their yarns, and it's called Lan Alpaca. 50% super baby alpaca and 50% merino wool. So talk about cozy and so soft. Knit one, plant one. Each skein of Earth Yarns sold plants a tree in Africa in partnership with TFF. Trees for the future. So anyway, I got this really light, dusty, it's got like a pink. Here it looks, in my camera is looking more beige, but it really kind of has this little bit of a pink color to it too. But it's a faint pink, but it so squishy and so soft. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, some more yarn. That's 3 so far. Here's number 4. So this is a Madeline Tosh yarn. And if you remember a while back when I went to Jimmy Bean Wool, they have the ones there that they're dyeing the colorways for the different states. So they had, I had gotten the one for Louisiana. Well, this one they dye specifically for that store. And it is called City by the Bay. So it is a San Francisco colorway, and you have the little bits of red from the Golden Gate Bridge. And she said it's supposed to be reminiscent of the Golden Gate Bridge and the Bay Bridge. So the red would be the Golden Gate Bridge and the white would be the Bay Bridge. But for me, I go over the Golden Gate Bridge quite often, but I hardly go over the Bay Bridge. And when I look at it, immediately I saw the Golden Gate Bridge before I even saw the name of it. And the blue that you'll get, depending on the day you go over there, you either have these beautiful blue skies and blue waters, or you have this foggy, so there's like these grays in here, and you'll have these foggy skies and stuff. And then some days you go over and you've got these white wisps of clouds in the sky. So for me, I saw the Golden Gate Bridge like all in one skein, driving over the bridge, and depending on the way the skies are. So I really liked it. And at that point, I didn't know it was their store colorway. And then I picked it up and saw the name, and I was already liking it. And I'm thinking this would make a really nice Musselboro hat to wear like when I go to the city. So I'm thinking that might be what I end up doing it. So this is Tosh Sock. And it is 100% superwash merino. So I think it's really pretty. And then I did get one other thing in there. I got some new needle stoppers. And they're little chihuahuas. Come on, focus. Focus. There. Look at them. Itty bitty little chihuahuas. And what I thought was kind of fun is, so my older chihuahua is black and brown, and her son, my younger one, is that golden color. So it kind of has a mix of both of them in there. So I picked up those. So then, but wait, there's more. A couple days later, my husband and I went to, actually it might have been the next day. Yeah, it was Monday. We drove over to Sacramento because my husband had to get, well, he's he does asphalt paving. So we have to drive 2 hours in Sacramento for some of the supplies he needs. And that day he needed chip oil because they were doing a chip job. And we get over there, and he was supposed to get it last week, and they had welders by the tank for that, and he couldn't get it. So we go over there that morning to get it. They still had welders by the tank. And they said, but they should be gone by 1 o'clock. So we said, okay, I'm not going to drive 2 hours home to drive 2 hours back the next day. So we just hung out. So we went over to one of the woodworking stores there, so he could have fun and buy some wood, because we don't have any good ones here. So we utilize that when we go over there. And then we went a little ways from that and went to another yarn store that I hadn't been to yet in Sacramento called Babette's Yarns. And I met Babette. And it was a very large store. It wasn't, I mean, there was a lot there, and it looks larger than it is because she's got mirrors against the whole back wall, and you'll see it in the video. And it's big, and she's got so much stuff. And I definitely did not video. I like showed down aisles, but I did not go down every aisle and show you guys because there's just so much. So for my acquisitions from that store, I really did try to behave myself. Come on, you guys, I try. So she did start me a card though. So if I go over there again. So some of the different projects I do, I have sparkly yarns. I have a drawer specifically with sparkly yarns that are acrylic yarns. I do have sparkly that's not acrylic, but I have a drawer that's full of sparkly acrylic yarns because sometimes it's just fun to throw that into something. But when I do gold, the one I have is like a cream color with this gold thread, and it does not give a strong gold vibe. And a couple years ago when I did my big temperature blanket, I was doing sparkly yarns on days we had rain. And on that one, I ended up, because of the temperature, that it was on a hot day, I had a sparkly and a not sparkly that were the same color for each one I had, but we had one day that year that was really hot and it rained. And so I needed, a sparkly yarn for that one. Didn't have it. So I went and bought a spool of thread that was just a shiny thread, and I double stranded it with the yarn, which worked great for that color. But there's a project that I might be doing here before long that I'm going to need a sparkly gold, and I want it to really be a nice sparkly gold. And while I was there, I found this, and she had a couple different sparkly ones, gold, but I was looking at how much was in each one because I'm going to double strand it with something else. And this one had 250 meters in it, and it had the most of all of them, and between price and how much was in it and stuff like that. That's why I ended up with this one, and this is Lanes du Nord. So that's the only reason I bought that. So that was, long story short, I was buying some gold sparkle to double strand for a later date project. And then she also had her own yarn. So it is called Shades of Fair Oaks by Babette. So that is her yarn name, or the like brand name. And then the color for this one was Spring Oaks Along the River. And she said that we should go for morning walks along, I think it was the Sacramento River. And these were all the colors she was seeing, which is why I love the greens, is because of those colors that pop out, those first brand new shoots of color that pop out in the spring. And there's just this like unique color, because then they darken as they mature. And it's this early spring color that I really like. And that's what she was trying to capture here, was those colors she was seeing as she would walk along the river. And growing up in San Diego, I had tons of oak trees around me. This is 10% nylon, 90% superwash merino, and it's fingering weight. So I don't know exactly what I'll do with it yet, but I got it. So yes, that made 5 skeins of yarns. 5 skeins of yarn and 3 yarn stores in 2 days. Yeah, I might have a little problem. I'd say I need an intervention, but I don't want an intervention. So now if you saw my video on Wednesday, it was my crochet hook comparison. And I did mention in that video I had not been able to get one from the Dollar Tree yet. So that hook was not in that comparison, though I had originally wanted to do that. And I was at the Dollar Tree yesterday, and of course they had the hooks. They had the plastic ones and they had these, which I lean towards the ergonomic. So I picked this one up and have not tried it yet, but it did not end up in that video because I just got it yesterday and the video went up Wednesday. So I got a 4.5 millimeter and it has the more of an ergonomic handle. So I will use it. I will let you guys know what I think. But as of now, the feel of it is very nice. The end is not too long because I don't like the super long ends. I did not like the big twist one. Had a very long end and it was rough right here. So the way I hold my hook, I kept rubbing onto it. So this one is actually very smooth. It feels nice in my hand. So we'll see when I actually use it, how it feels. But at the moment, I do like the way it feels here. Still, of course, not as ergonomic as, like, say, the Furls hook, which I like that thickness. But in a pinch, the feel of this one feels nice. So I'll let you guys know later what I end up thinking of that. So that was all my acquisitions. I don't know if I had enough. My husband has been working this last week and he made 2 of these. I won't tell you what they are at first, so you can see if you know what it is. And feel free to leave a comment below if you know what it is before I tell you what it is. Get it right in the camera. So did you guess what it is? It's a meat hook. So like if you're cooking a steak and you hook it in and flip it over. Well, we've used these for years. We have ones that are longer than this we use barbecuing and I love it. And this one's a little bit shorter, so I can actually use this one in the house, which is really nice. And he layered these different woods and they have a shimmer, which woodworkers will call chatoyancy when it shimmers like that. And he's got a really nice feel to it here. So he actually made 2 of these. One he had given to our next door neighbor. And you hear me talk about them all the time and I say my next door neighbor, but if you hadn't been able to tell, which is where these 2 chickens are going, we're really close friends with them too. Anyway, so one went there and one is here for us. And I'm eager to use it the next time I am cooking some sort of meat that can actually get poked. He also has been working on a few other things. I don't remember if I told you guys about the bowl that he blew out. The bottom of the bowl completely blew out and we were looking at it and it was like, well, glue another piece on the bottom and then stick it back on the lathe and see what happens. So that's what he did. He glued another piece on the bottom and worked it. And if somebody didn't tell you that, you would not even know that that whole bottom was blown. I mean, the whole bottom blew out. He'd gotten it too thin. And then he's been working some more on some whorls for spindles. I think they're super pretty. I love the way this one looks on the side. I just think it looks really cool. So he's got a bunch of whirls right now. Yeah. So he's got to make complete spindles with them, but at the moment. And there's some support spindles over here in the works. So that's what he's been working on. And I did record last Saturday the video I was telling you about that's going to be on the one train that this man has made, and it's absolutely amazing, but it's going to take a little bit more work on the editing on that one, as it was a full interview and everything, but that's one to look forward to that will be coming out. So let's see, we've got Wonderland yarns coming up. We've got more in my fleece processing series. We'll have the train one eventually coming up, and I have some Christmas ones I want to work on too. So I need to get my booty in gear and get some of these things done. But for now, I think that's about it. And hopefully this hasn't gone too long as usual, but I can't help myself. I like talking to you guys. So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure and click like and subscribe. And click that notify if you'd like to be notified when I upload. I try to upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And make sure and share my videos. And my Christmas wish this year is I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by Christmas or by the end of this year. So anyway, I hope you guys all have an amazing weekend and a good week, and we'll see y'all again soon. Bye.